you doing? My name's Dave, and if you are like me and you love all these recent releases from Eventide, you can call me Daveypoo, the Mobile Music Minstrel. How you doing? Hey, today we're taking a look at QVox, the latest release by Eventide, and oh my god, I love that they're just pushing out all these apps. They are all incredible, and here's yet another one. So let's do a swift sprint through this and see what we can see here. I'm going to quickly run through the controls as I always do, and then we're going to listen to a little bit of the sound and hear what it's like. I am in my beloved 8 Matrix as always today. I am running Neo Soul Keys Studio 2, the latest release from gospel musicians here. It's running a very dry electric piano sound. As always, I want to stay consistent for you guys and always use the same sound so you can really hear what this thing does. It's being run by Adam Piano Roll. You know, I just played a few things. I don't know, it's not that interesting. Now, I didn't do chords today because this is a harmonizer app. I just stayed with individual notes. I tried to do some long notes and some shorter staccato notes so that you could hear the difference there, but I stayed with single notes so that you could really hear the harmonizing. And I didn't want to use my voice today. Everybody else is doing vocal videos, and so I thought I'd do something different. And I'm going to stay consistent with my electric piano thing, as I said before. So let's talk through QVox here and at least look at some of the controls. First thing, as always, we have the input gain as the amount of signal coming into QVox, how loud or how soft it is. Then we've got the mix. We're mixing between the totally affected signal and the completely unaffected signal. Right next to that, you've got pitch mix. So now you can mix between pitches A and C and B and D and how much of each you want to get. Right now, I'm going to set it directly in the center here. Then you've got your 4 pitches. Pitch A, pitch B, pitch C, and pitch D. And this is a positive and negative knob, so as you turn it to the right, you get increasing values. As you turn it to the left, you get decreasing values. Okay, it can go as low as, off. 2 octaves down and 2 octaves up. Okay, from your initial period. And then so you've got those 4 pitches, and that's the same for across all 4. Then if you keep going over, you've got the output gain at the end. That's the amount of signal coming out of the effect. Now, if we go down to the bottom, there's also a delay built into QVox. We can sync it here to the tempo using the tempo button, so we can have it be synced to the tempo so that if you hit sync, here you've got the delay D time is being determined by this knob. Now, I'll explain all this in just a second. So you're setting the amount of delay for pitch D here, and it's synced to the tempo of your host application. If you do manual, it is still mapped to a equal division, right? An eighth note, a dotted eighth note, a quarter note. However, the tempo, when it's set to manual, is not determined by the host application, but by the tap tempo here that you can tap. So that's manual, okay? Then you can also set it to off, where it's just free, and you can see that you're determining it by the milliseconds, how long it is, okay? So that's the tempo, and that's delay D. You can set the key for which the pitch is, the pitches are mapped to, and then the type of scale that you want here with the mode, and then delay grouping. This is how you can group the different delays together. Notice as I move this knob, they spread out in different ways. Okay, so I'm going to set it there so that way we have equal group spacing between the different delays here. Okay, so let's turn all these off. Oh, let me finish my tour here. Then over here on the right-hand side, you've got the tap tempo, as I mentioned before. That goes with the sync for the delay. Then you've got learn, and under here you've got an active on and off switch. And then underneath you've got the ribbon controller, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So let's hear how this sounds. Here is Neo Soul Keys dry as before. Now, I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to run it through QVox. Now, I've turned all the pitches to off, so we're not going to hear anything at first. Let me turn the mix. Let me set the mix at, if I double tap it, it defaults to 66. So I'm going to leave it there for a minute. Let's turn on pitch D. Okay, so I've got pitch D now is set to 245 milliseconds. We're going to sync that to the tempo. I'm going to set it to a dotted eighth note. That's a fun rhythm. It's a standard rhythm. Now, I'm using pitch D in unison right now. If I turn up pitch D, I can have it be up an octave. Okay, now you notice that you're only hearing it in one side. There's no way to manipulate the panning of the individual pitches You have to just use what's mapped here. The feeling I get is that they've kind of simplified the controls to be able to fit into the same form factor that they have for all the other releases they have, but I don't feel like for this it works against it. I feel like this is simple enough that I can get what I want out of it, even with the limited controls. So now let's go to B, or yeah, let's go to B. Okay, now let's add in C. And turn up A. Now you can see how this would be a lot of fun. Okay, let's make this a little more musical. Let's have pitch A be down a fifth, pitch up B be up a fifth, pitch C be up an octave, and D be up 2 octaves. And let's set a longer delay time. So you can see that this thing gets really, really fun really, really quickly, okay? That's just really silly. Okay, so I'm going to pause it there. You guys get the idea on how that works. Let's talk about this crazy ribbon controller here. So you see, you've got this line, and if I drag back and forth, okay, I can go from either side. If I click on this one knob here on the side, anytime I move one of these knobs, it's going to move the white dot on the knob itself. Okay? Here, there. Okay? Now, if I click the other side of the ribbon controller here, each of these is now going to move the blue dot. And what I'm setting is I'm setting the sweep of the ribbon. So now I can turn that off and I can move across the ribbon controller, and you'll see I move from the blue dot marker, which is the right hand side, to the white dot, which is the left hand side, and back and forth. So I can actively morph between whatever settings I have set up here on QVox, so I can make some really, really interesting effects. That's QVox for you in a nutshell. This thing is really fun. It's another great offering by Eventide. Thanks to the Eventide crew for thinking of me. These apps are incredible, and they really, really are. I really like them, and they're not paying me to say this. I use them all a lot, actually. Black Hole Reverb is now my go-to reverb. That thing sounds incredible, okay? These Eventide apps are absolutely premium offerings. They're really super worth it. I don't know if you need every single one of them, but you got to pick and choose them for the application that you need. Remember, they are tools. You don't necessarily need to collect them all. It's not Pokemon. You need to make sure that you're getting them so that you have an application to use them for, but oh my gosh, they are so worth it. So thanks, Eventide. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys liked the video. If you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to know more, and come check me out. I'm on the Audio Bus forum all the time, and you can send me a message here on YouTube, or you can go to Instagram and you can send me a message there, or you can talk to me on Facebook, or on Twitter, or on all these other social media platforms. And I hope you like my stuff, and I will see you guys next freaking time. Later.